All right, friends. Good morning. Just waiting for the system to go live. We have a giveaway. We have a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about today. So, looks like we are actually live here. Okay, friends, welcome back to another Science on a Saturday. It's Mike Muscle here. Today, we're going to talk about natural strategies and lifestyle strategies that you can implement right now to reverse your biologic age. So we've talked about this extensively on past episodes in the past year, but today we're going to explore the results of a recent study and connect this to the ongoing health crisis that is going on right now. And I want you to keep watching, because what we're going to do is give away 2 tests here that will help you enable and assay your biologic age, which is different from your chronologic age. We're going to define all that and talk about that. But just want to welcome our live listeners here every Saturday. Pretty much every Saturday we go live and we talk about some different strategies. So this is not pre-scripted, pre-recorded. This is just live, uncut. So what we're going to do is sort of talk about epigenetic age and how that's different from your chronologic age. So for example, I'm 38 years old and I recently did my DHEA test, which looks at your epigenetic clocks. Now, I know we've been talking about clocks for a long period of time, and this kind of gets confusing with circadian clocks and epigenetic clocks, but essentially our DNA is sort of operated and influenced by this thing called this epigenome, this extra or above layer of control of our genes. And our epigenome has different clocks. And, you age at different rates. And so your epigenome controls sort of how quickly or slowly you age biologically. And if you make poor lifestyle choices, if you smoke cigarettes, if you don't eat healthy food, if you eat processed food, if you have a lot of psychological stress in your life, if you stay up late, if you have circadian rhythm disruptions, that can accelerate these epigenetic clocks that are governing your biologic age. And so there's a way that you can assay this now. And so we're going to talk about how you can get access to some of these free kits. Well, I mean, this is a $300 test, but the company was really nice to send me 2 kits that I want to give away to you. And how we're going to do this is basically if you leave us a review in iTunes and let us know your name so we can track you down, or leave us a comment with your review, we're going to put that in a random number generator and send this out to you. So if you live in the US or Canada or Australia, we can ship this, I believe, to Europe. I just don't really know how you can get this back to them. But our podcast in iTunes, High Intensity Health, leave us a review. Let us know how we can contact you, and we're going to put those reviews in a random number generator and get you access to this test, which is really great. So I mentioned that I'm 38 years old. And when I did my biologic age test, it showed me that I was 40. So that was a really good lifestyle change, sort of motivator for me to realize that I should probably make some changes in my life when it comes to sort of, for me, it was staying up late, editing videos, being on screens doing research. And so this was a nice motivator for me. But this new study, let's sort of unpack this. And we've had Kara Fitzgerald on the podcast before. And so the title of this here, as you can see, I need to zoom in a little bit, is Potential Reversal of Epigenetic Age Using a Diet and Lifestyle Intervention. This is a randomized clinical trial. There was 58 subjects in the control arm, 58 subjects in the actual trial. And what they showed was that there was a demonstrable reduction in biologic age, which we're going to get to in a moment. But I want to sort of parlay this lifestyle change and highlight the emphasis and the importance of that, because there was this U.S. Biobank study that looked at, over, I think it was how many thousands here? 300 plus thousand individuals. Found that after looking at hospitalizations, COVID-19 outcomes, and all of these various related factors to this infectious disease pandemic, and found that, guess what? Lifestyle was the biggest predictor of hospitalization. So people that have diseases caused by lifestyle, hypertension, chronic kidney disease, blood pressure issues, obesity, and sleep apnea, all of these diseases that are remedied via our lifestyle, those were the biggest risk factors for hospitalization. So lifestyle change really matters, and your lifestyle can reverse your biologic age, which is a risk factor for what's going on with regards to the outbreak. Now, why I also think this is important is a lot of people haven't been exercising. They've sort of let their lifestyle slip, and that can be problematic. And this study sort of dove into it. And I want to share some sort of grim news with you due to the fact that we have all changed our lifestyle, many of us in a negative direction because we were stuck in our houses and all of that. The increased risk of the number of deaths that was attributed to by way of reducing our physical activity and causing more junk food, is going to claim 1.7 million lives. Okay, so this is quantifiable. Scientists have looked at this. The new onset diabetes is 11 million new diabetics by changing in an adverse way people's lifestyle. So this has been quantified. These are the images that you can look at. Lifestyle really matters, and that's kind of the message that we've been sharing over the course this last year, is that we got to double down on lifestyle change. We can't just rely upon these flimsy surgical face masks or facial coverings to save humanity. We need to focus on that. And this study here, actually in Shanghai, China, looked at the reduction in physical activity in people and the negative impact that was having on lifestyle. And if you see here, this is the reduction in step count at the onset of pandemic, and it still hasn't, as of the recording of this video here on the first day of May, it hasn't yet received. The physical activity is still reduced almost over a year later. So we need to focus on lifestyle. Lifestyle really, really matters, and so we're going to unpack some of the details of this, but also understand that aberrations in biologic age and accelerated biologic age, not just chronologic age. We hear that age is a risk factor, but your chronologic age is not always synonymous with your biologic age. And that's why we're going to unpack the details of what exactly these researchers did here at two different centers here. Kara Fitzgerald, Ryan Bradley, and a few others were part of the study. Really cool study. So we're going to hone in on the details, but I just wanted to sort of preface this with you to help you realize that your choices right now are the most important lever when it comes to your health. Your sleep, your stress management, your exercise. I have so many clients who just simply haven't made a habit of exercise, and that is a risk factor. We talked about last week, exercise is a vital sign. So we're going to get into all that. But first, friends, I do want to let you know that this video is brought to you by our very own Myoscience Nutrition tools to help you get more control over your lifestyle and improve your health. So one of the things that we're super excited about is our new hemp formulation. So this is the clean hemp product that is grown. It's 100% organic, 100% glyphosate-free from European-derived hemp. So this is a really nice way to support sleep health without actually altering in a negative way your sleep stages. So we know that there's over-the-counter sleep products that have been used, but they alter REM stages, deep sleep, memory, recall, and all that. So you can hop on over to myoscience.com. That's myoscience with an X, and use the coupon code podcast to save. We have a lot of cool stuff coming out. Okay, friends. So let's unpack some of the details here and talk more about what these scientists actually did and how they were able to reverse epigenetic age. Okay. So again, there was about 58 subjects in the intervention group, 58 subjects or 59 or something in the control group. And what you're seeing here is a deviation in terms of average biologic age. And they used a kit like this, which we have two that were given away from DNH. So mydnh.com, this is a $300 value. If you leave us a review over in our iTunes podcast, what we're going to do is reach out to you and get you one of these so that you can give it a try. So we're going to put your name in a random number generator, and you can get access to that. So what they actually, in this study, what they did, and here's actually the reduction over time. So this was just an 8-week lifestyle change. So there's a lot of people that will say things like, you know what, we don't have enough time to make people healthy. We don't have enough time to change our diet and lifestyle. We don't have enough time to do all these different things. Well, this was only 8 weeks. And so essentially what the researchers randomized people to do is eat a healthy, real food, unprocessed diet. Start exercising 5 days a week for 30 minutes. Doable for a lot of people. They took a high-quality probiotic. They were eating unprocessed real food, high protein. They were advised to manage their stress. They were advised to go to bed, and wake up at reasonable times, and be consistent with that. Okay. And again, what you saw here is a statistically significant reduction in their biologic age. So just by doing these things, they're actually reversing their biologic age, which, as we look here, accelerated biologic age is a risk factor for poor outcomes when it comes to this virus, when it comes to chronic age-related diseases. Many people look in the mirror, they see more gray hair, they see more wrinkles, they see more signs of biologic aging. And what do? They do quick fixes. They do Botox, they do surgery, they dye their hair, they cover things up with makeup. But what if you could just change your lifestyle to actually permanently impact some of the negative consequences of aging on the biologic levels to stave off age-related chronic diseases like cancer, like autoimmunity, like diabetes. And that's what the study actually showed. So I think it's really interesting. I just wanted to share this with you. We're going to get to some of your live questions here in a moment. So spread the word that lifestyle is medicine. Here's the results of just an 8-week study that show this. Now, again, some of these testing modalities are helpful because they give you the sort of realistic snapshot of sort of where you fit in with regards to the population of like tens of thousands of subjects on the epigenetic level. So, there's a lot of people that say, well, I eat a vegan diet or I eat a carnivore diet or I do this and I think I'm being healthy because the guru that promotes this is healthy. But sometimes some of these modalities, they might help the guru, they might not help you. So it's always good to sort of real-time test your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise plan, and all that. Okay, friends, let's get to some questions here. Was this cool? Was this helpful? I just kind of wanted to hop on here and share this with you all. Okay. Someone says, are you Dr. Berg? No, I am not. Hello from London and the UK. Hey there. Thanks for being here from London and the UK. I appreciate you all being here live. Thank you, as always, for that. Now, let's just see here. What sort of questions do we have, friends? Okay. People who have an unhealthy lifestyle get sick more likely. Yes. Wow. Who would have ever expected that? I know. I'm with you. Obviously, it's kind of a duh moment. However, a lot of people are somewhat in this disbelief that lifestyle matters right now. It's absolutely crazy. Okay. I work in a hospital and all I see is people who don't take care of themselves. Yes. So again, going back to the study that we were kind of sharing with you, this is from the US Biobank right here, showing that basically lifestyle factors out of looking at 300,000 people is the number one factor that's going to determine whether or not you end up in the hospital. Joe Rogan voiced his opinion that young people who live healthy lifestyle exercise probably don't need the vax, Fauci, etc. Demonized him. I know, wasn't that kind of crazy? Like that was the main sort of news cycle this week is what Joe Rogan said on a podcast. I think that's kind of interesting. Maybe it's a slow news week, I guess. You can see why the networks just love COVID because it just grips people and they're super into it and all that sort of stuff. And their ratings went through the roof. And now that basically the pandemic is over, people are like, whatever, they're paying attention to other things. Okay, Aries M says they drink Coke, wow, and they're in the hospital. I know, but again, it was considered a conspiracy theory to suggest that lifestyle change actually matters. And here we have several studies that have quantified the lifestyle change. So one of the studies that we reviewed, and if you go to our YouTube channel and search in epigenetics or epigenetic clock, what you will see is actually the study that we reviewed with Steve Horvath down at UCLA. And he gave, in that study, what they did is they gave people growth hormone, very low dose. They gave people DHEA and metformin. And they were able to show at the end, I think that study was 12 weeks, maybe something like that. They were able to show compared to the control group that there was a reduction in epigenetic age or biologic age. So that was kind of interesting. Okay. Healthy people need way less help from the government. I know. And it's interesting that, I don't want to believe in nefarious things. I want to believe that people are acting with the best of intentions, but it is weird that we made people more unhealthy with our own sort of safety measures. It's kind of interesting. So Carl says, isn't it fair to say that epigenetic age is the analog to general health? Yeah. You are getting healthier means you are getting younger. Yeah. So Carl, I think that's a decent way to look at it. The way that I sort of look at it is your lifestyle change is slowing down the natural rate at which you age. And so I don't know that we can reverse our biologic age or, reverse aging per se, but I think what we can do is prevent, acceleration in our biologic age. Maybe it's completely reversible, but I think if you compare the control, they're aging at a certain rate, and then you're just slowing down the rate at which you are aging by making healthy lifestyle change. Okay. Hey there, Mike from Ontario, Canada. So you're in Sudbury. That's cool. I don't know exactly where Sudbury is. I do know Ontario, but I hope you're doing okay, Mike. I know Canada was going through some interesting times with all this stuff right now. So that's interesting. Laura says, I felt like I've reversed my age with modification and physical therapy, but to get my body flexible again after quitting smoking and drinking and being sedentary. I feel and look 10 years younger. Laura, hats off to you. That's amazing. I love hearing stories like that. So congratulations for your lifestyle change and keep it up. Carl says, you also made a statement. I asked you to prove your statement. I'm not sure if Carl is talking to me or not. I think someone's talking in the chat, so that's not really something for me. Okay. Angela says, hello, could you hire me? I love mitochondria and I work on it. Cool. That's amazing, Angelica. We are always looking for great people at Bioscience, so you can fill out a contact form if you were, and let us know what you specialize in. Okay. Do you have any thought on Geert Vanderben Bosch speaking out against mass V words to the young, healthy population who have a strong innate immune system, who have the ability to eradicate this virus? Yeah. So there was this individual who I guess used to work for Bill and Melinda Gates, and what he was able to, he did a video. He was interviewed on some medical doctor's channel, and essentially what he said is that the antibody solution to the current pharmaceutical intervention that's being widely put into people's arms, he was saying that may not be the right tool for this time with the virus sort of circulating in communities. And I mean, it's interesting to think about. It does seem that there's some seasonality to the virus, and that's why it might be calming down. But if you look at states where there have been more than, say, 30 to 40% of the population that have had this pharmaceutical intervention, placed into their arm, they're still having reduced ICU capacity and challenges. So I don't know about that. I'm ultimately of the belief that lifestyle is the most long-term solution, because the people that are very vulnerable to outside of the elderly, right? The people that are in their 30s, 40s, or 20s that are overweight, that are hypertensive, that are diabetic, their lasting immunologic protection from these solutions from the pharmaceutical companies probably won't last that long, because their immune system is they have immunosenescence and challenges within their immune system. So it seems to me that the most viable long-term solution is nutrition and lifestyle change. We got to be promoting that. And it's not just me talking about this. I mean, this is one article, on the importance of healthy living. There's many scientists that are talking about this. I know this was controversial 6 months ago. We've been talking about this since May of 2020, the importance of diet and lifestyle, but now scientists are talking about it. So to me, I think that's the most important. That's how we're going to climb out of this, because as I keep mentioning, that US Biobank study showed that lifestyle challenges were linked with poor outcomes. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if I totally answered your question, but it seems that the shots are working in certain areas. Is it going to work forever, or will people continually need these? And will the virus learn to escape the spike protein memory induced by the shot? I'm not really sure. Okay, Aries says, big pharmaceutical companies making money off people's patients. Yeah, I mean, if you look at BioNTech stock and you look at Moderna stock, they're doing quite well. I think diet and lifestyle changes take time to affect. People do not want to put in the effort. Yeah, I'm with you. But again, this study showed that diet and lifestyle changes work in just 8 weeks. 8 weeks time, you can reverse and slow down your biologic age. So that's interesting. Okay, do you know anything about the spike protein shedding from the pharmaceutical jab? Yeah, I really don't. I've heard people talk about this. Do I think the spike protein is being shed by people? Probably not. This is a protein within your cells. I don't know how that it would shed. What mechanism does a protein just shed? I highly doubt that. I don't think there's any concern about that. So there are some egregious videos of people saying this, that if you stand next to someone who's had a jab, that you're going to get the spike protein. I mean, that's to me just complete it's not scientifically sound. So I'm not worried about that. I don't think a lot of people have all these nefarious, people are super concerned about the jab and like, oh my gosh, it's gene therapy and all that. I'm not really concerned from that perspective. I just, if you're, I have antibodies to it, so I'm not going to run out and get it. But there's a lot of people that are, anyway, people are saying some crazy stuff. Sarah says, Mike, appreciate the small things. Thank you for that. And thanks. You like the haircut. I did cut it a little bit shorter. Okay. That's John says, hey, Mike, John Leonard here from Toronto, Canada. Since we chatted last, I am much healthier. Amazing, John. That is fantastic. Age reversal and health span, great topic. Fantastic, John. I'm glad to hear that you are you're doing a lot better. That's really good. Chris says, what do you think about cold showers for the immune system? Well, Chris, we've reviewed so much brown adipose tissue science and cold thermogenesis science over the years on this channel. So I'm a huge fan of cold thermogenesis and its impacts on the immune system. So I'm a fan of this. So yeah, I would strongly suggest doing it. I do it pretty much every single day. So definitely make it a part of your life if you can. Fern Dog says, dude, diet and lifestyle is 99% of the game. Yes, it is. 100% with you on that. Okay, where's Michael? There's a question here. Manu CJ says, I like the t-shirt. Yes, so this is from Brenda Williams over on Instagram. Super nice lady. I'll put a link there for that. Michael says, hey, Mike, please make a list of foods, which would be mostly carnivore, but also help me get the max out of the trace minerals, magnesium, boron, etc. Very interested in the best OMAD. Yeah, so I think some of the best foods are fatty meat. Periodic liver. A lot of people eat liver every day. I do not suggest that. It just doesn't make sense to me as like a hunter, someone who, has backyard animals. Having the liver, I don't think you don't need liver every day. All right. This is going to be a small thing. The heart periodically as well, kidney, that's what we focus on. I like thymus glandular. We do sell that, by the way, over at Myoscience, but I'm a huge fan of that periodically as well. So your thymus is where a lot of your immune cells originate, your T lymphocytes, and thymus atrophy is linked with accelerated biologic aging. So I'm a huge fan of that. So I do personally take that. But yeah, you really just, a lot of people focus on chicken. We have backyard chickens. We use them for the eggs. I might process some this weekend, but I'm not a big fan of like having chicken all the time for protein. You can probably hear the chickens right there out in the back. Indigo, where's Indigo? Okay, Indigo says, I've been carnivore for 30 days now. I gave up dairy about a week and a half ago, and I'm seeing absolutely no weight loss. I'm also not cheating. Any ideas? I usually eat 1 to 2 meals a day. Indigo, it's hard to lose significant weight with just diet change. So you need to start exercising. So some people, you can improve your health, obviously, by changing your diet. But it's hard to lose significant amount of weight with just diet change alone. You need to accelerate the changes by exercising. People, I don't know how else to explain this. There's this perception that exercise is sort of this thing that, yeah, I might do one day. You must resistance train and hit every major muscle group in your body every week, at least 1 day per week. So you got to train, you got to walk, you got to do sprints, you got to do all that. So now, if you're doing all that and you're doing carnivore and nothing has changed whatsoever, then obviously need to look at other things too. There's how do you breathe? Are you breathing through your mouth or your nose? How is your sleep? How's your stress management? How's your circadian clock system? There's a lot of things to check in there. BV says, are you excited about the modified Yamaka factor workout of David Sinclair's lab? It is implied, and it's implied prospects for regenerative medicine. Yeah, that seems a little interesting. I haven't followed that story too extensively, to be honest. Of course, I've followed David Sinclair's work, and for a number of years since his lab discovered resveratrol back in 2007, I've been following his work. But yeah, this modified Yamaka factor and its implications for changing sort of the trajectory of cells' age and all that. Interesting. Do I think it's going to happen in our lifetime? I don't know. It almost seems too good to be true, but seems cool. Yeah, I'm with you. Do you think the average sperm count will basically go to zero in 25 years, as some doctors are assuming? Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't been following the average sperm count. Do I? It definitely is declining for sure. There's a lot of people in their 20s and 30s who cannot get fertile, cannot conceive a child without fertility help. And so I only see this getting worse, unfortunately. But of course, there's some people who are raising healthy kids who will have no problem. I think we're seeing just this natural deselection where, there's just so many people who are not taking care of themselves. They're exposing their bodies to microplastics and endocrine disrupting chemicals. And these things have epigenetic effects. So that's what I worry that what we're seeing here with the infertility and the rise of infertility is transgenerational infertility impacts, where your parents or your grandparents were exposed to bisphenol A and other endocrine disrupting chemicals, and then those are sort of being transmuted into your own epigenome and negatively impacting your epigenetics and so forth in fertility. So yeah, it's crazy. LDL plays a critical role in immune defense. JYAN2852 says, any thought on people who are taking statins? There was a study that surfaced possibly association, but never went anywhere. Many people are on statins. This is a really good question. I want to say this was last April or May. There was a study, and it was an association study that showed that people with lower LDL cholesterol had lower survivability when they were hospitalized. I haven't followed up that study, but I think it is interesting. So we know that LDL has various immunologic roles, as someone stated here. I've talked about this in the book Belly Fat Effect, going way back to 2014. So LDL cholesterol is not only low density lipoprotein, I should say. It's better than saying that compared to LDL cholesterol, is not only involved in lipid transport and nutrient partitioning within the body. It can neutralize pathogens. It's involved in that regard. It's been shown to neutralize endotoxin leaking from your intestines. So it plays a big role. I would suspect that people with low LDL probably have poor survivability, poor outcomes. But I don't know the statistical power of that. I haven't followed the studies, but yeah, it's a good question. Fred Q says, started intermittent fasting and a ketogenic diet 3 weeks ago. Amazing, Fred. Inflammation has gone way down. I feel like I'm in my early 30s again. I'm 45 now. Amazing. Yes, it's all about lifestyle and good health. Fred, that is fantastic. Hats off to you. Okay, Mike says, how do I get over my cell phone addiction? Yeah, so there's a few books that I can recommend behind me. So let me see here. I'll have to add in the show notes, but there are quite a few books. Where are they? One of them is called iGen, which is really good. And there's another one that I'm just forgetting the name of. It's back there somewhere. I read it a few years ago. So the easiest thing, Mike, is what you need to do is you need to go camping, okay? You need to just get off grid with no cell phone for several days. So what we need to do, friends, is pattern interrupt. If you have a pattern of snacking, this is why fasting is great. You fast for 24 hours, you pattern interrupt that habitual habit of snacking. If you're constantly on your phone or tech or whatever, you pattern interrupt. And so what you do is you just go on a hike, go on a vacation, go on airplane mode, and you need to create some friction between you and your phone. Put it in a drawer, put it higher up, put it on airplane mode, put it in a safe. Do something like that so that if you have this impulse to get on your phone or eat snacks or do whatever, that you will there'll be more friction. The more friction you have between you and the thing that you're sort of you have a behavioral addiction to, it will help. So that's what I would suggest. Okay. So we have Sharkfish says, where are you, Sharkfish? Okay, Mike, can you do another full body scan of you and that was my wife Deanna 2 years ago to compare both scans? Yeah. The problem though is they've gotten really pricey. They're in Canada. It was about $2,000. So we might do one in another few years. This summer would be year 2, but you can't even go to British Columbia. But Prenovo does have a place now, a scanning center in the Bay Area, California. So we might, but at 38, I don't need one all the time. But for content, it would be sort of interesting to do. Again, so friends, if you want to get access to, we're giving away, this is $600 in tests right here. We have 2 of these guys. And so if you would like to test your epigenetic age, this is how one of the ways that we can do this is through a random number generator. So if you've been enjoying our podcast, if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, and you're serious about lifestyle change, please go to High Intensity Health in iTunes. Leave us some feedback. It can be negative too. I mean, it can just your honest feedback about what you think, what you've learned, and leave us. And you can tag me on Instagram and just say, hey, this is my review. What we're gonna do is put those in a random number generator, and we will send this out to you for free. So this is a free, over 300, I think it's 349 is what the retail is for this. This is an epigenetic age test. I want to give it to people who are serious. So it's a little bit of work for you to go do a few things, and want to make sure that it's someone who's been listening to our show for a while, that knows the content, that will actually make the changes. Because as some just random person who is living an unhealthy lifestyle does this, I want people who are like, yeah, I've been doing the work for a while. So that's how you can get access to that, and we're going to send that out to you. Okay, so Carl says immunity comes from exercising your immune system. That's good. I like that. Staying away from people makes your immune system weaker. I mean, Carl, I'm with you, bud. But to get out and roll in the dirt, work in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm with you. There's this whole field of psychoneuroimmunology, and so our psychological connections, our mindset, being around other people. So of course we share pathogens, and that helps with our immune system functioning, but also social connections are a big impact on our immune system health. Someone says, would a Vax Pass be more dividing or unify the already polarizing division? It's going to further divide and conquer if that becomes a thing. So that's my perception of that. Okay, a couple more questions here. We have Ricardo, just got back my lab work, very low triglycerides and low insulin, high vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 is very transient on your blood work, by the way. Vitamin D and testosterone. My doctor wanted to give me statins because I have high LDL. Ricardo, this is the paradigm of medicine that we live in right now. People with high LDL cholesterol are frequently recommended to just go on a statin regardless of their age or their risk factors. So my suggestion would be find another doctor who gets it. Okay. So yeah. Okay. There was another question here I wanted to get. Okay. Carl, with a K this time, says daily consumption of extra virgin olive oil will reduce inflammation and arterial damage. Healthy doses of omega-3 from fish or fatty fish will as well. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of omega-3 fats. You can quantify your omega-3 fats by using the Omega Quant test, and that's a great way to just see, hey, am I getting enough omega-3s from my diet to impact my physiologic health? So really important for people that want to preserve brain health, that are trying to reduce their susceptibility to infectious diseases, and also the people that want to get pregnant. Really, really important. Okay. Angelica says, how I fix my sleeping schedule. It's a mess. Yeah. I would go back and check out the recent video that we did with regards to fasting on a sort of on the night shift. Definitely check that out. So we talked a lot about that. So Angelica, that would be helpful because we talk about how to fix your sleep. Rena says, hey, Mike, I take a lot of supplements daily. Could that interfere with my keto weight? Yeah. I found people take too many supplements. Look, I sell supplements. I would love for you to buy all of our supplements, but I don't recommend that. Okay, you can take too many supplements, and some supplement companies are not third-party testing for lead, arsenic, cadmium, and heavy metals. Do you know that? So you can be literally ingesting microdoses of heavy metals by your supplements if you're getting crappy supplements. And that's why I started Myoscience, to make sure that you're getting super high quality stuff. We third-party test things. We screen raw materials. We're not getting crap from China. Look, the supplement business is super unregulated. There's a lot of dirty stuff out there. I'm telling you, because I've been in this space since 2006. I've seen some serious garbage. And clients that I work with, they send me spreadsheets of all the stuff they're taking. Multivitamin here, this, that, a greens drink, whatever. And some of that stuff is not even worth considering or taking. So I'm a huge fan of just covering the basics. vitamin D with a vitamin K2 product. It costs like, $10 a month. It's our essential fatty nutrients. Really simple, third-party tested, really great. I'm a huge fan. If your omega-3 index is low, for $49, you can go to omegaquant.com. You get a little finger stick. Check your omega-3 index. If it's below 6%, you need to support your body's omega-3 fatty acid levels. I don't care what all these other people in the carnivore diet community say, or all these people that are saying fatty acids are bad. The data is really, really good. We've interviewed Bill Harris before, so you need to check that out. So, and if that is low, then you might want to consider a third-party tested omega-3 fat supplement. If you have adrenal thyroid issues, you can take a glandular that can help with that. I'm a big fan of taking DHEA. The research on DHEA is phenomenal. There's not a lot of funny stuff or challenges with that. Obviously we talked about vitamin D. Probiotic can be helpful. I do recommend people just start with fermented foods. That you can save money that way. Some people need B12, some people don't. So we have our Ultra Keto Complete Tasty Micros. So those are some of the basics. Now, people are taking all kinds of an adrenal this and you can really overdo it with the supplements, friends. I don't recommend overdoing it. Sometimes people are taking so much that they don't even know what's working or not. So I'm a huge fan of just covering the basics and investing in your food, getting grass-fed beef, getting backyard chickens, getting free-range poultry, stuff like that. So that's what I suggest. Okay, what about the new omega-7? Look, there's been all these different derivatives of omega-3s over the years. Like I said, I've been in this business for close to 20 years at this point, okay? Is it really a game changer? I don't think so. What you're seeing here is this is sort of what happens. All right, let's just be super real, straight talk, okay? What happens in the dietary supplement space is sometimes there's this novel ingredient or some sort of proprietary way to extract something. And one company sort of has an intellectual property patent on something for a long time. And that becomes the shit. Like everyone is excited about it because like you're seeing this with some of the NR, NAD and all that. Usually they're super expensive raw materials. Usually it's only one person that has exclusive rights to this. And all you're just hearing about all this. And some of the research is being published in journals that are okay, but whatever. They can be funded or backed by industry. That some of these things sometimes can be great. Like the magnesium threonate has a lot of good research. It's only sold by one raw material. Good stuff. Other things are just way too pricey, not really worth it. I'm not a huge fan. Well, I don't know, but is this omega-7 the game changer? Maybe. I highly doubt that because if you look at some of the mechanisms of actions regarding how omega-3s work, we're talking about affecting some of these eicosanoid pathways and some of the inflammatory pathways and making some membranes more fluid. They might affect, the pro-resolving mediator system and some of the inflammatory systems that way. So, I don't know that I would break the bank on an omega-7 or any of these sort of novel products that you're seeing that have a lot of hype around them. There's a lot of good value in some of the basics. Covering the basics. And again, not breaking the bank on some of these things. I think people spend way too much money on supplements, not enough money on food. Okay. Is this helpful? I'm not really sure. Mike, would you consider magnesium and zinc essential to take? Yeah, especially if you're physically active. So we take this, we recommend this. Our Relax and Calm, has some of the best forms of magnesium in it. The magnesium malate, magnesium glycinate. So huge fan of that because when you're sweating and if you're physically active, you're sweating out zinc, magnesium. You're sweating out all the minerals. So really interested in that. Is someone saying this thumbnail is offensive? Are you being serious? Carl again says, okay, let's see. I stopped taking NMN after 6 months. Actually felt better after quitting. Yeah. And so you spent $600+ on NMN and didn't really notice that much. You could have bought half a cow for $600, half of a grass-fed. You could have bought half of a grass-fed bison for that much money. So think about that, all the value that you would have gotten from that. So Epsom salts, I'm a fan of that. Yeah. Huge fan of that. So give that a try. What else we got? Okay. Dance says, will sipping extra virgin olive oil will it clog your arteries? No. So having too much liquid fat in any form actually is problematic for your gut. So basically, because the liquid micelles in the gut will cause the absorption of endotoxin, and it can be pro-inflammatory. So when you're having liquid fat of any kind, you don't want to have super high quantities. Olive oil is good because it has hydroxytyrosol and other polyphenolic compounds within the oil. But you don't need massive amounts all at once. So don't sip olive oil. You don't need to sip large quantities of oil. Okay. Sarah says, your DHEA recommendation changed my life. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Sarah, thank you for that. I've been a huge fan of DHEA. A lot of people don't think that it's that important. DHEA freaking rocks, guys. Check out Sarah's comment right here. Sarah, I would love to know what dose you're doing and how old you are. I'll link a video so you can learn a little bit more about DHEA. But yeah, that's one of our core foundational products. It's super affordable, friends. In contrast to something like NMN that you may or may not feel, it's $100 a month. You can get one of our highly absorbable DHEA products for under $10 a month. Okay. So you're like, it's 90% cheaper and you will actually notice its effects. And there's good research on that. So, yeah, so that's why I'm a fan of just covering the basics, guys, covering the basics. Okay. Thanks for disrecommending supplements. I think a lot of people take too many. Yeah, they do. Thumblebug, they do. Now, look, supplements can be very helpful too. I'm not saying don't take supplements. I'm saying, people are taking a gazillion, way too many. You can narrow it down to, if, like we talked about, you got your vitamin D, your vitamin K, omegas if they're low. You can look at your minerals. You can look at electrolyte. You can support DHEA. You can take some melatonin. Maybe an adrenal, thyroid. And that's you're covering a lot of the bases. If you want to take some glandulars, then that's it. Okay. Anne says the DHA is the only thing I still need. Yeah. So Anne, we did a video on this. So there's some good research. Go to myoscience.com, myoscience.com. We have a blog all about DHA that will help you. Sarah says she was taking 100 milligrams in the morning, 54 years old. Sarah, that's amazing. That's a pretty hefty dose. To be honest, I would normally not recommend that much, especially for a woman, but if it's working for you, hats off to you. That's amazing. Okay, Carl again says, we shouldn't assume either that just because something is good or not bad, that we should do it all the time. Bingo, Carl. I like you think, buddy. We need to exercise different pathways of our biology and change things up. Absolutely. Okay, Aha says, so worried about omega-3s going rancid. Yeah, there's a lot of oxidized omega-3 oils on the market. At Myoscience, we use a product called or a third-party testing company called IFOS, International Fish Oil Standards Group. They're in Guelph, Ontario. We test every single lot. It's very, very low on long-term and short-term oxidation products, the anisotine. So there's a lot of rancid crap out there, but the manufacturing technology that we utilize ensures that it's not rancid. So the total oxidation score is under 10, which is really honestly not even found in the industry. Most people are 20 plus or higher. Okay. There's no, Joshua says, what's a good plant-based source of DHEA? So DHEA is derived from fermentation. So when you're getting DHEA, Joshua, you can't buy DHEA at the store. Like this is a hormone that your body makes, or you can buy it from a supplement that's made from fermentation. So DHEA, Joshua, what I would suggest, go to myoscience.com, type in the search bar DHA and look for the video that we did. So I shared with you some of the details. People get DHA and DHEA confused, totally different things. Okay. So, yeah, TODS. Yeah. So it's the TOTOX, the total quantity of short-term and long-term oxidation. Thank you for clarifying that. So that's important to look for in a supplement that's an omega-3. Okay. YouTube Moy says, I've been taking 5,000 IUs of vitamin D for the past years. Never been sick since. Bam. And what did that cost you a month? $2, $3? Really, really affordable to do that. Whew. All right, guys. Well, friends, is this cool? If it is, hit that like button. You can share this with a friend or family member. I'm glad that you're still here. As I mentioned, we just rolled out with this new clean hemp product that's totally European derived, no glyphosate, so it's certified glyphosate-free, certified organic. This can really help your sleep without monkeying with your sleep architecture. Go to myoscience.com. Use the coupon code podcast at checkout to save on some of these different things. A few different questions. Thanks for being here, ZZ. Awesome to connect on the chat. Dignib says, I am 18-year-old male. When would you recommend me take it? What would you take? Oh, DHEA. So if you're 18, you probably you shouldn't need DHEA. Now, if you've messed around with pro-hormone supplements, bodybuilding supplements, if you're taking steroids, you might need DHEA. But if you're 18, what I would suggest is getting some lab work. And what you all need to look at is your DHEA sulfate levels on your labs. And so that would give you an indicator about your DHEA levels. Okay. So a lot of people, so DHEA does start to decline at around age 25. That's when it goes down, sort of like testosterone does. It's, I think a certain percentage, 7% per year or something like whatever, or a decade, something like that. But by the time you get to your 50s and 60s, your output is really low, especially for women. So that's why I recommend supplementing with it. So anyway, I would test your levels. Now, if you wake up really lethargic, if you can't put on muscle, if you have low testosterone, I generally always advise guys go on DHEA first. And the way that you sort of think about dosing is about, for men, women are about 30% less than this, but hear this out. So if you want to think about 10 milligrams for every decade of life. So I'm getting close to 40, so I take about 30 milligrams every day. Sometimes I take 40 milligrams in the morning. Now, women, you multiply that by 0.3. Okay, so if you're a woman that's 40 years old, you do 40 milligrams times 0.3. So you think about, so it'd be about 10 to 12 milligrams. As you get into your 50s, women, might want to do, say, 20. But as Sarah said, I mean, she uses 100 milligrams. But everyone is so different. But start low with all these things. You want to start low because you'll notice this. Neo says, what do you think about Nordic Naturals for omega-3? Yeah, I think they're okay. I think they're IFOS certified, if I'm being honest with you all. And again, you need to understand my conflicts of interest. Our optimized omega-3 monoglyceride crushes Nordic Naturals for absorption, for cleanliness, for third-party testing. So they're a big company, right? But in terms of our absorption, I would bet money on this. And if you want to make a wager, our optimized omega-3 monoglyceride, third-party tested, IFOS certified fish oil will increase your red blood cell EPA and DHA on a milligram per milligram basis better than Nordic Naturals products. So they do a triglyceride concentrate. We do a monoglyceride concentrate that's better absorbed. So that's just me. But I think overall probably a decent brand. But if you do buy Nordic, buy it right from their website. Okay, Luda says, I recently watched one of your videos on different ways to fast and moved my fasting window up noon to 3 p.m. instead of eating late at night. I'm losing fat faster and feel better overall. Whew. Yes, I love this. I'm going to take a screenshot of this because this stuff is really cool. Again, the fasting community is sort of crazy where people were bookending their day with food, which just didn't make a lot of sense. Tamara says, thank you. Look forward to more good advice. Hey, thank you for that. Really appreciate you. Tamira. Todd says, please keep it up. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Thank you for being here. Okay. DTX Rocker says, can you talk a little bit more about the benefits of black seed oil? I think you mean black currant seed oil. So black currant seed oil is a form of GLA, gamma-linolenic acid. So GLA is the only, this is a good tip. So GLA is the only healthful omega-6 fat. Okay, so it's anti-inflammatory. It does a lot of different things. So it comes from black currant seed. It comes from what's the other, is there a walnut form? I can't remember all the different raw material forms of GLA. But GLA it's helpful. It's good for women too. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm cool with GLA. You can get it from your food. But if you've been eating a diet of processed foods that has a lot of industrial seed oils and canola and safflower and soy and all this sort of stuff, GLA can be helpful. So there's a gentleman actually at Wake Forest University that had looked at in humans pairing omega-3s with GLA. So using like a fish oil with GLA and noticing some beneficial changes within the immune system. So yeah, I'm a fan of that. So give it a try. Gabriella says, do you ship worldwide? We do. We've shipped to pretty much every major country in North America. We've shipped to Latin America as well. Not a whole lot. We have some customers in Costa Rica and stuff like that. We ship to Europe all the time. Challenges have been, honestly, with China a little bit. China has been a challenge, but to Australia and Canada, it's like butter. So that's been cool. But we have had a few challenges. Unfortunately, Dubai, we might have to stop shipping there. We've had so many challenges for whatever reason into Dubai. But Israel, we've had good results with. Jordan, we have some customers in Jordan. Singapore, Taiwan, we've had great success, but Dubai, for whatever reason, has been a challenge. Another, black cumin seed oil. I haven't heard of black cumin seed oil. I'm not sure about that. So I was wrong. So he is referring to black seed oil. Okay. I don't know what's in that. That's new to me. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will check that out. What else do we have? Steve says, what's up with YouTube? Just found this. No notification from YouTube, even though I have the bell icon clicked. I don't know, man. All these podcast platforms and social platforms are weird lately. Okay, MB says, how good is olive leaf extract for the immune system? Yeah, that's a good question. I think these compounds are good in the acute phase. So would you want to do, olive leaf extract every single day forever? Probably not. But it's good in the acute, cold and flu season during the winter. I'm a fan of that. Just like elderberry and things like that. So short term, I think it's good. Do you want to do this all the time? Probably not. So yeah. Okie dokes, friends. Grateful that you're here. Thanks for hitting that like button. Thanks for being here to interact in the chat. It's fun to connect with you all. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you very, very soon. Take care.